going on, Ming? How you doing, man?
Doing good. Been taking my medication lately, and hmm, I actually decided, even though I'm legally not allowed to smoke marijuana for 9 more months, I don't hear music the same as when I'm high. When I'm high, I'm like a tweaker. I could smoke a couple bowls and, you know, just tweak on guitar for 8 to 10 hours. But everyone says it's a poor excuse, but I know other people like that. So I just finally went and bought a distortion pedal and a tuner, and I'm working on getting an amp. But overall,
So,
life's been good.
oh, that's great. Are you so you were sober for 9 months, you said?
Oh no, I would never say that. And for the record, for those at home keeping score, I'm drinking the same coffee I was last time we interviewed. But
Hey, me too. See?
well, I think yours is Pabst. But
I like your
look,
shirt, man. That's good. I like it.
you switch shirts on me.
I know, man. You see, I made it. So this says Blackstrap.
Hey, any chance you got any more merch laying around?
I do, man. I'll definitely I got some new good company shirts. I'll hook you up.
Me and my mom, bro. And if you want to interview my mom, I'm pretty sure she will go for it.
You think she'll do a Zoom?
Yep, I do.
That'd be awesome.
I mean, yeah, I don't,
Your
I don't
mom's
see
the
why,
go man, your mom's the best, by the way.
dude. I say it all the time. I got the best family. I got the best mom in the world. Like I'm lucky. But yeah, for the record, and I hope this don't get me in trouble. But like the only time I came out there, I don't think that was against good legal advice.
Oh, really? Hey, talk about that. Can you talk about that at all or
I'd rather not. The fucker took me up and say, "This guy went to
yeah.
Atlanta and fucking he should have been here or there." But I think I'm good.
Oh man, it was so cool having you over here. By the way, when you came, we rolled, as you would say, we rolled the red carpet out for you.
Dude, I'm so used to being next to the spotlight to have someone roll the red carpet out. That was too cool, man.
Yeah, dude. I'm trying to remember that day if it was just you that day, if we had more
No,
people.
Blackwater drowning or something.
Blackwater drowning. Oh man, I was just talking to Mac about that. That's so cool. Yep.
It is today, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I totally forgot about that, man. And you're talking about new merch. I actually got you something I'm gonna send to you. Check this out.
Let me put my glasses.
I got you a
No,
skate deck.
don't bother. I'm too old to skate, bro. I'm 54 years old.
Hey, you're gonna put this on your wall, man.
Take the t-shirts and the shirts like last time.
That's so funny you said that because I was gonna give Head from Corn one, and Head goes, "I got too much stuff here. I don't have enough room for it."
that's how I feel about birthdays and holidays. Like, don't give me nothing. I don't want nothing. If you're gonna give me something, give me cash. I've just got done purging most of my bullshit. I no longer have three PAs in my house. My mom lives here with me, which is great. And we were both apprehensive about it, even though it's a huge house. But in the end, we're both good roommates and treat each other well.
Oh, really? So
Right.
how do you purge? Like, are you selling stuff or are you just
Yeah.
donating?
Uh, I sold most of my PA gear and other musical gear on Facebook Marketplace, but I was selling shit cheap. You
Hmm.
know, I mean, if you want top dollar, you go to eBay or Reverb, but maybe I'm too lazy.
For those that don't know or didn't see our first interview, you were the older brother of Chi, who was, famously known for being the bass player of Deftones.
Yes,
Well,
and I just watched our previous interview to make sure I wasn't going to tell some of the same stories twice.
I thought about watching that, but I never watch my old stuff because it's so brutal. I just like my own worst. I just stare at myself and be like, yeah. I don't know if you like
Well,
watching yourself on screen.
you got the $1 million smile. You're a good interview,
Hey, thank you, man. Appreciate that.
but I'm going to turn this around on you. Like, I'm not sure I might I might interview you too.
Hey, there you go. Do it. Yeah, but yeah, man,
Okay.
yeah, but you know what? I was thinking about you sent me video of you when Deftones are playing, and you're like, wasn't it some guy that was jumping on stage or something, and you had to help out? Oh no, Chino was stage diving, and you had to help him get back on stage. Wasn't that the case? The video you sent me, or did that happen a lot when you were on the road with the Deftones? Were you weren't
okay,
like
actually,
techno security, you know?
well, no, but we all were. But that'll lead me to a story or two if I should bother you with some Deftones stories. I
Yes,
think that people want to hear.
yeah,
But yeah,
absolutely.
we had a drum tech. His name was Bobby Twitchell. Rest in peace. We adopted him from Corn. Whether he was a good drum tech, no comment. But he was our guy, and normally it was his gig to throw people off a stage. Anyway, one one gig, I happened to jump off stage and fish Chino out of the audience, and I think it's 7 words where he does a 1, 2, 3, and I come with the wicked, and
Oh
like
yes.
he's straight singing at me, and I'm like, thank you, dude. But anyway, my one experience throwing somebody off stage, like I never really did it, and he was pointing at me like this guy's coming. It was Palo Alto. I think it was On the Edge or whatever. I don't know what the place was called, but this guy was coming over the stage left mains, and I was like, "No, dude, don't do it." And I tried to push him back, and he was still coming. He was some skinny fucker.
Mhm.
And he got on stage, and then almost like a movie, dude, I fucking threw him off stage, and everybody moved. Anyway, moving forward into the around the fur tour, fucking, we were in Ireland, and Bobby Twitchell was the guy who threw people off stage. But
Is he still around, Bobby Twitchell? This guy is he still alive?
no, no, that's where the rest in peace comes in.
Okay.
I don't know what killed him, but I, I don't think it was drugs, but it wouldn't surprise me. But anyway, we all love our drugs. But
Yeah.
anyway, we're in Ireland somewhere. We're at a club, and Chino jumps off stage, and then me and Bobby both converge at center stage. And fucking, he always wanted to be the star of the spotlight. So he straight up and backhands me. My glasses fall off, and I'm like, all right, bitch. And then, but we could both see in Ireland, there was this huge muscle guy, and he had Chino in a headlock. And like, I don't think he meant to hurt him, but he was hurting him. So anyway, Bobby somehow retrieved him. And then after a little while, it was a 2 month run in Europe. After a while, the band said, "Hey, man, no more throwing people off stage. This is bullshit." And so we get to Italy, and like in Italy, the mob rules. Like you can't stop them from bootlegging shirts and shit. There's just dozens of them, and some of that shit look better than our shit. But so they told Bobby no more throwing people off stage. And the next thing I know, there's like 20 motherfuckers on stage. And I'm like trying to coerce them and like, can you get off stage?
Yeah, you just do what you're told at that point, right?
Yeah, but Bobby just sat on his drum stool next to Abe. And I looked at him and I was like, fuck. Finally, I go into the production office, get our manager, who's a short guy with a big cock, fucking looked like Bruce Willis, always chomping on an unlit cigar. And somehow with his age and elder statesman, he was able to coerce people off a stage. But then after that there was no more. Uh, don't throw people off stage. It was like the shit gets out of hand.
So when did you start? I mean, you were touring with them all the way back with Adrenaline, right? I mean, did you do Adrenaline Around the Fur and White Pony? I mean, were you on the road?
I only did Around the Fur and the beginning of White Pony.
How did
But
your brother ask you to do that? Was he like, "Hey man, you want to go on the road with me? You know, I'll offer
uh,
they offer you a gig, you know?"
no, here's the gig. Is like when Adrenaline happened, they were on a super tight budget. Nobody gets a bass tech right off the bat. And honestly, they took one of my friends and they gave him a $5 per diem. And I was like, this motherfucker doesn't know anything about gear. But dude, I'm such a drunk that they were like, we can't take this guy out. So I knew if I got sober for a little while, they would take me out. So when Around the Fur came out, I had been sober for a while. And, maybe at least to this day, I mean, the day Around the Fur came out, I remember sitting on the bus with Chino, and he was like, "Yeah, I know you can't drink, man, but just have a drink with me this one night." And one night turned into every night. And, one thing leads to another. But
That's
I had two.
amazing. That's amazing that you drank with Chino every night. Like the stories, if you can remember any of them. But anyway, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, no, I got three more stories I can remember. Um, so it was Thanksgiving '97, Around the Fur, and we had a day off. I feel like Snot was with us, and they had a day off too, or maybe they were opening for Seven Dust. And fucking, I didn't know who Seven Dust was, but we rolled into this venue. They gave us our own dressing room, and you know, this guy, and I'm a shit talker by nature. Like, I'm not trying to offend anybody. It's just fucking words. We live in an ultra PC world where you can't say anything anymore. But this guy's like, Seven Dust this, they're so great, blah, blah, blah. This big fat guy, kind of stocky. And I was like, Seven Dust sucks. And I had never heard him. I think I knew that they were playing. And we're talking shit back and forth. And fucking, he says, if Seven Dust sucks, I'll kiss your ass. So I jumped up on the table, beat him on my cheeks back, and said, "Well, start kissing, motherfucker." And he fucking can't. My brother stopped the nonsense. Seven Dust came on, and I'm all wasted and shit. So I go towards the front of the stage, and I don't know if he does it now, but he was doing the David Lee Roth thing where he's thrusting his pelvis forward. And like, I don't even know if there was a barricade or what. So I just reached up, kind of cupped his dick, and he didn't even flinch, dude. He didn't even flinch. I think he knew I was with the Tones crew. But then we go back to this hotel, our hotel, and we had to be 5 to 10 stories high at least. And I think we might have been on the White Pony and drinking. At least I was. I don't want to condemn it, but yeah. So we're doing our business, and I look over the balcony, and I see that between, let's say it was the 11th floor, okay, between the 11th floor and the check-in floor, there's a small like subroof. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So this was when TVs weren't flat screens. They were big as fuck with tubes in them, heavy as fuck. So I fucking pull the TV out the wall. It's still connected by cables. I look at Chino. He's going, no. I look at Abe. He's going, no. And Steph's going, yeah. And then I said, listen to this. Like I knew it was going to sound. And it did. It just sounded like a fucking bomb dropping, dude. It was fucking off the hook. And so when we check out in the morning, we had to cop to, there's a TV missing. How much do we owe you? And I think we got off the hook for like $400 or $500. But Stefan is the man. He fucking split that shit with me.
Oh, he did? Wow, man. That sounds super cheap, by the way. Like a whole TV ripped out of the wall. It'll cost you a few hundred. That's it. Or, 500, whatever. But that's super cool that he split the bill with you. Yeah.
For real, because he was into that Pantera Watch Him Go videos. Like he liked the insanity, bro. And I'll tell you what, it's like, I don't care who you ask. If you know people, the crew always rocks harder than the band.
Really?
And for sure, for sure. I mean, Bobby Twitchell alone, our drum tech, the shit he would do, just like amazing.
What do you think about Pantera coming back around? I know they're coming to Atlanta, so I'm looking forward to seeing that. But
well,
yeah.
My boy Gong thinks it's disrespectful. And
yes, but what's his name? Bobby Gong, or who are you talking?
Jason Gong.
Jason Gong. Yes, I'm sorry. Yeah, Jason's the man.
They were on tour with Damage Plan, so they had to cut that shit short. And he thinks it's disrespectful. I don't. I don't think it's a money grab at all. I think fucking Zach and fucking Dime were best of friends. I think Charlie and Vinny knew each other. And if anyone was going to take the drum gig, it's Charlie.
Yeah.
I mean, uh, I would I pay to go see it? No, I never pay to see shows, really, for the most. But I mean, like Juan that you had on the show for the Deftones, there was a festival down the street, and I, it was Motorhead, Slayer, Slipknot, Anthrax, and I kind of wanted to see Motorhead, you know. But so I just randomly called him. They're like, "Yeah, any ties with any of these bands?" And he's like, "Yeah, I know people from Slayer." But it felt super good to walk in like, "Whose guest list are you on?" Slayers.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, that's pretty sweet, man. Juan's the man. And I'm just I met him years ago back on the road, just going to see Deftones in Atlanta. Do you talk to Juan a lot, or do you guys have a good relationship? Juan's
No,
the assistant of the Deftones for people that don't know. I guess that's what you
he's
call him.
he's their ex bitch. Love you, Juan. But yeah, I guess he would be the production assistant. But for some reason, I think he's moved on to bigger and better things. Like,
I think he's
mm,
Incubus, right? I heard he was working with Incubus. I could be
well,
wrong.
that doesn't surprise me at all. Our ex production manager slash monitor engineer Eddie Kircher, who I love to death, even though he was the first one to fire me on that uh, Black Sabbath Pantera tour.
Oh, I remember that
Um,
tour. Why did you get fired from that tour?
oh, well, this is going to shock you and shock the world for being that drunk asshole talking shit to Eddie Kircher. But I mean, to this day, I love the guy to death. And he told me when I first got off the plane at Heathrow and went and met him in his hotel, and we might have done some white pony, might have had a couple drinks, but he was like, "Dude, I used to be Cliff Burton's tech," and then for years I thought that's fucking bullshit. How could he have been his tech? Not knowing. And he was on the bus when the accident happened, and then I read an interview years later. Sure enough, he was the guy. But I was like, fucking do White Pony with a guy who toured with Cliff Burton and was his tech. That's a no brainer.
Right. Yeah, that's pretty amazing. I mean, just that you know these people. But yeah, so
Yeah,
yeah, you got
but he's like a main guy with Incubus now.
yeah.
But
I'm trying to remember when Juan started with Deftones. Do you remember that? Like when he started working with them?
it
I
was
mean,
it was around somewhere in the middle. I feel like it was the middle of the Round the Fur tour, and then he came up with some sandwiches and fucking Steph, who if I got to pick a favorite guy, it might be him because he's always star. But he came up
yeah.
with some sandwiches, and Steph's like, "Where's the mustard?" I'm like, "Fuck! I'm glad I don't have this guy's job. My guy, my way cooler." But the, there's two stories, Deftones stories that I forgot to mention last time. What are they? Let me think about this. Oh, what is it? Damn it! Fuck! I knew I should have written this shit down. Go ahead.
Hey, well,
Hey, let me
yeah.
go ahead.
No, well, we were talking about when we mentioned Pantera. Do you have any Dimebag stories or Vinnie Paul story? I mean, or Phil or any of those? Did you party with those
Never
guys?
met, never met them.
Oh, even really? Any of
Yeah,
them? You did? Wow.
no, I mean that's just a big tour, and like I've been, I've been a stagehand now for 25, 30 years, and the unwritten rule is don't meet your heroes because you don't want them to be assholes and then they'll hate their music. But
Mhm.
I'm sure if I gone out of my way, I could have met more people, but that's just not who I am. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I get it, man. I got a picture here. I don't know if you watched our interview recently, but I can't remember if I talked about it. But I have a picture of Chi over here, a skinny version of me and your
And a
brother.
not so skinny version of him. It looks like Saturday Night.
It was.
That
You're
looks like,
right. Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. That was Saturday Night Wrist. Yeah. But he was so cool. He came up to us and asked us if we know where any local bookstores were. And me and my buddy Carl Smith, you met Carl, he's at my house taking photos. We're like, we know where the bars are. You know, I mean, we're so stupid.
Right.
Yeah, we're not used to people asking us where the bookstores are, you
Mm.
know. But he was ahead of us, man. He's the man, and you know, we much respect to him. But we were
So,
just two like young idiots. We're like, I don't know, want a beer? But I'm so glad we got to meet him, though.
oh, for real, my brother was just the best. Fucking. All right. So here's my favorite Deftones story. It happens somewhere in your area, is what I'm guessing. It's like an all concrete venue. It's on the Around the Fur tour, and fucking Abe, you know, usually he would have a dual 15 and a horn on this tour. I mean, later we graduated to 4 dual 18s and a butt thumper so you could hear the kick. But he was always being a little bitch back then, going, yeah, yeah, and throwing his fan. Like, I know the real reason is because he was drunk, but it's just like, dude, you came from clubs where there were no monitors. But anyway, he's throwing a fit. He's going, cat, cat, and fucking throwing shit around. And Chino's on stage right, Stefan's side for some reason. And he says, what? You can't hear yourself, motherfucker? Well, fuck you. And then he throws his mic at the drum set. And I don't know how it is even physically possible, but the mic cable got wrapped around all the drums, all the cymbals, except kick, snare, and hat. Maybe the crash was still there. And it was something off Adrenaline. I feel like it's one of those songs that speeds up as they go towards the outro, and there's no vocals. So Chino's trying to pull back his mic and cable, and fucking all the drum, like, I think we had Orange County percussion drums back then. So the rack toms weren't on the kick drum. They were on stands with cymbals. He's pulling all the fucking drums and cymbals fall off the stage, and he's finishing the song, bam, 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 bam. And then they finish it. Chino runs up to the drum riser, if there even was one, and they both give each other a big hug and say, I love you, bro. And then it takes us 15 minutes to get together.
Oh, that's so good. Hey, do you got any more? Keep telling them, man. These are classic, man. I love them.
I got one more. It's pretty anticlimactic, but we were in Florida, and like it was just me, my brother, and Chino, and like I don't want to say what they got into, but my brother was slagging Chino for some personal reasons. He got pissed, sucker punched my brother in the face,
Wow.
and like I know for a fact the only reason he did that is because I was standing right there and would break that shit up, because my brother would have kicked the shit out of him.
Right.
Yeah. So anyway, they get on stage, and like they're that band that fucking they bring all their aggression out on stage. They just had the best show. I mean, it was good.
Yeah, dude.
Now I interview you, Scott Bowling.
Okay, let's go.
You ready?
Yeah.
All right. I'm not talking favorite albums. I'm talking top 3 albums that changed your life.
Oh, you didn't even warn me for this, man. You just threw it there, man.
Yeah.
3 albums that changed my life. Well, Faith No More, The Real Thing. That was a huge album for me. And Faith No More has been a band that I keep going back to and listening.
Hey, what's your favorite Faith No More album?
That's hard. It's I love Angel Dust. I even love Before Mike Patton, but
I know you do, but that's where we disagree. But I love Angel Dust. For me, it's a toss up between Angel Dust and King for a Day.
I love King for a Day. Yes, that's one of my favorites.
Believe that's fucking the guitar player from Bungle. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure.
Right? Yeah. He was new. That was his first album without their Jim, right?
Jim Martin.
Yeah.
Jim Martin. So Jim Martin that goes to get up on our bus one time in San Francisco. He's all bald as fuck. I don't recognize.
Yeah, no, he looks totally different.
He does what any person that belongs would do. They just open the door and walk on in. He opened the door and like, get out of here. And he's like, it's Jim from Faith No More. Oh, Jim, come on in.
Wow, this
But
is
anyway,
Deftones bus. Yep. Sorry.
yeah. Anyway, so that's one album, the real thing. Next album.
Would probably Adrenaline. When that yeah.
Adrenaline.
Yep.
Okay, number 3.
Oh man, you're putting me on the spot, man. It would probably be probably it's a toss up between White Zombie or Far Beyond Driven. One of those. Thunder Kiss 65 was huge, and I've had Ivan on the show, from White Zombie. Yeah. So
I think I saw that.
Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah, so probably around there. I guess I'll just go with Pantera, Far Beyond Driven, because that album was huge for me, and this is all rock music,
Such a great album. When I was on tour with them briefly, like Vinny uses triggers. If you know what that is, you do.
Triggers, yeah.
Like,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but they sound so fucking clicky. I don't like it. Like,
oh yeah, he said he used quarters for that on the kick drums.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But I think they're also triggers as well.
Exactly. What are your top 3 albums that changed you? I'm spinning this back around on you, man.
No, I want you to. That's why I was ready. Many times, and it goes in order of influence as a musician. It goes AC/DC, Dirty Deeds, Thunder, Cheap. Although AC/DC Power Age is my favorite record, Thunder Cheap is the one I started learning on. Then I graduate to Metallica Master of Puppets, which is surely one of the most perfect albums of all time. It's kind of like Around the Fur. It's only got 8 songs, but that got me into down picking and getting with brutal guitar playing. I mean, I tried doing soloing, but I don't think that's ever going to be a thing. And then lastly, it's a toss-up, but I would have to say probably Rolling Stones' Let It Bleed. They named that album after the Beatles put out Let It Be. They put out Let It Bleed.
And I didn't know that. That's cool.
I always thought, like, I always ask people a series of questions, but are you a Beatles fan or are you a Stones fan? Like, it might be before your time, but Beatles, if you have to pick one.
Beatles, because my mom liked Beatles, so we always listen to Beatles. Yeah. What about you?
I used to be such a Stones fan, but man, I've come to appreciate the Beatles because with what limited recording capabilities they had and what they did, they were so much more innovative. But I love the Stones. They're going 60 years strong. But my theory on that is if you pick the Beatles, you're more of a positive person. If you pick the Stones, you might side. Because the Stones really didn't have too many dark songs except maybe Happiness is a Warm Gun and maybe a handful of others. But I mean, the Beatles got dark. Painted Black, Sympathy for the Devil.
Okay, so if you had to pick between, did you ever listen? Okay, the first concert I ever saw was the Beach Boys, but now I was like, I kind of was cringed back then, but I love the Beach Boys now, and them and the Beatles kind of competed, right? I mean, you had Pet Sounds by the Beach Boys.
Pet Sounds came out first and was a definite influence on the Beatles. But I studied fucking rock history like I'm going to get a gig out of it. But if you ever get a chance to read, I don't know how familiar you are with recording, but their engineer Jeff Emmerich, fuck George Martin, their engineer Jeff Emmerich, would hook up 1 or 2 4-tracks, and then I'm not sure if you know what I'm saying, but once you do a submix, say you do a submix of drums and bass, you can't alter that. And he was bouncing down shit left, right. Jeff Emmerich's book, I forget what it's called, but it's with a Geoff Emmerich. But it's such a good book. I sent that, and I think we had a 4th book to Stefan. I don't know if he's much of a reader, but I mean, somebody on Facebook, their question for the day was, "What do you think music will sound like 100 years from now?" And I'm like, if we're alive, it will sound like a lot of AI and
Yes.
then meat puppets, and that's kind of sad. But I mean, I've heard some AI shit, and it's not bad. It's only going to get better.
AI freaks me out, man. Yeah, just
No, I truly think it will be the death of us. Like it'll be hard to tell what's real, who's real, social media influence, and just yeah, I'm not down for technology the way it's going. I mean, you go to Walmart, you're lucky to find one cashier. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah,
So I
you're right.
generally. All
Were
right.
you
What other questions?
were you around when I mean were you around obviously you're around, but I always think of like when you're talking about AI, but before AI, the big thing like Napster back in the day. Remember when Lars was trying to
Yeah.
like
How was Ulrich? How
yeah,
right was our now
yes.
it ruined music. The other thing that's ruined music is Pro Tools. I don't know if you've recorded to a click ever or watched somebody move the kick from left to right and quantize and sterilize everything.
Yeah.
Fucking it makes everything garbage. I mean, in my opinion, I was just watching before we got online here. I was just watching the song remains the same, Led Zeppelin, and it's just like now you don't have to be that good of a musician. And you know, I don't know. Everything sounds the same. I think it's been 20 years of bullshit, and I know that sounds cynical, but it's same old asshole with an opinion.
What do you think about bands that play along to tracks? I know that's
Like,
a yeah.
well, it depends. It depends what it is. If it's okay, so the first band I worked with, where I noticed there was this giant rack that rolled, and I love Muse, but there was this giant rack that rolled next to the drummer, and they were just a three-piece. Then right now they've got a what do you call them? A utility guy that they hide. But it depends what it is. Overall, I'm against it. Overall, I would rather hear Vince Neil sucking than Vince Neil off the record. If I want to hear the record, I'll fucking sit at home. But that's
Yeah.
me. I mean, you know,
No, I
I,
totally
I
agree.
guess if you're playing shit that you can't replicate, like let's be honest, Frank Delgado, his job could be taken for over by a laptop. But if you're doing something like that, okay. But I'd rather see a live dude do it, to be honest. And I'd
Yeah.
rather hear a singer out of key a little bit than to know he's just lip syncing. I mean, I know a lot of bands as they get older, there's a tendency to want to do it. I can almost forgive it with backing vocals, but even to that extent, I mean, even when let's talk about Motley Crue. What's their best album?
Um wait, to hell with the devil, right? Is that
This is
probably
not this is not an oxymoron.
well, it's weird for me because I was super young when it came out, but Dr. Feelgood was like the album that I absolutely loved. But I was only 9 when it came out. But the older I get, I kind of go back and like, shout at the devil probably.
I'm going too fast for love, baby. It
Oh
sounds like a
yeah, that's
demo,
great.
but it's so raw and so good. And I was a teenager when it came out. I don't know
Hey,
how
I
I
love that
came into a
song.
copy.
Yeah.
What, Too Fast for Love?
Yeah, it's such a good when with Chi, like you're being the older brother, were you like, hey, check out Motley Crue? Was he like, who's that? Like were you constantly like
Oh, we were both into it, but I did watch our interview from earlier, so I didn't repeat myself. And
that's
you
good.
asked a question. You, you said, did your brother have other influences? And as he graduated from high school and into college, he got into punk and he got into like Tower of Power, a lot of reggae. And like I was asking my boy, Sam York from band Clockwork Hero, he's like a partner at Studio C in Stockton, California, fucking super studio. And he's actually helping me. get Jason Gong Jones demos sounding like songs. But anyway, what were we talking about? I was asking him. Oh, I said, so am I? Because I'm not super technical, right? Like I know a little theory, but not much. But I was like, am I wrong, or did my brother like kind of play by the beat a little bit, which I think he did. So I think he got that from reggae and maybe Tower of Power and shit like that. So he had other influence. They just weren't the same as Chino's. I mean, Steph was metal to the core. Chino's into The Cure and Depeche Mode. My brother's into everyone from Tower of Power, all reggae, John Denver. And I remember seeing a Tom Petty cassette in his car, and I was like, Tom Petty, what the fuck? And now to this day, that's like one of the last shows I paid for. I love Tom Petty.
I love Tom Petty. I've never thought he listened to him. That's so cool, man.
Yeah, he was into the older shit, definitely. But
Did you say Tower of Power? Who are they? I don't even reckon. I don't remember them. Did they have a like? Am I missing out on that? Is that what you said? Tower of Power?
yeah, I wouldn't say they were a funk band. I'm not super familiar with them. I just know he was into the bass playing and that kind of shit. And yeah, I forget what the bass player's name is. Um, I can't remember, but he was into all sorts of different shit. And Steph was always like, "Hey, like just follow me on guitar." And my brother was like, "I'm gonna do the complete opposite." And in the end, Steph was like, "Yeah, that's pretty cool." I listened to the bass line to My Own Summer, and like, who else is gonna write the you know? I don't know
Oh,
what Steph wanted to play, but apparently my brother would tell me he's like, yeah, when I don't know what to do, I just go take a ride with the demo and then listen to it, and then I come back and do it. And
oh, that wow.
apparently Rob Zombie does the same thing, so I'm sure he's not the only one.
Is that right? That's crazy. I never knew that. No, I love that riff. So we got to talk about this. Jason Gong Jones, man, he's the reason I got you on my show. I loved the most people don't ever talk about is Drowning Pool's follow up album after David golly, my mind's gone blank. The singer
Williams.
David Will yeah, after Dave Williams passed away, unfortunately, this Jason had to fill in those shoes, man. And I love what he did with Drowning Pool. I love that album. That's one of my favorite Drowning Pool albums, besides
He's
the
the
first one.
he's the superior singer, but he also didn't write "Let the Bodies Hit the Floor." And I seen a poster in Davis while I was working with this promoter that shall remain nameless, who I love so much. I worked for him for 15 years. Seen a poster of Drowning Pool. I said, "Yeah, when those guys come to town, I'm fucking busy," you know. But
Yeah.
that that became a big hit, and then he got a raw deal, dude. And like even now, like he's I maybe have three friends, you know, and he's the one I talk to the most. He's sitting like anywhere from 80 to 120 songs right now. And I'm just trying to help him make sense of the nonsense because he's doing it all on his computer. You know, when he plays a keyboard part, he's playing on his computer keyboard. You know, when he does his 12 string, he's playing on his keyboard of his computer. And, you know, like unlike early on when I heard the early Deftones, like I can hear through bad production whether a song is good or not. So we got one song we're working with Sam York at Studio C, and he's gonna lay down some real drums, and God forbid he lays down some other shit because Gong likes his own shit best. But I'm playing producer on this. Sam's playing engineer. you know, I I just want it to be as good as it could be.
Yeah. Do you ever think about jamming with them? I mean, you've played instruments in the past, the bass and guitar or whatever. Do you ever want to like collaborate with, you know?
We're also far apart. I'm in Idaho. Sam's in California.
Mm.
Gong's in outside of Columbia, South Carolina. Um, if anything, I would go on the road as a tech for them or fake bass like I used to do. But I mean, Gong's pretty good on bass. You know, I think he's pretty sloppy in other areas, but as a singer, he's he just
I love his
he,
voice.
Yeah, he's great. I just think that sometimes, like that song that I sent you, remember that one?
Yeah, really good.
I think that's I think that's the best song he's written so far. So, I not that people put out albums anymore. I feel like I don't know if you could put out an album with southern rock, funk, punk, alternative metal, new metal. I don't know if that's you know maybe I'm
Yeah.
wrong.
No, you're right. He'll send me stuff every once in a while and be like, it'll be just different styles of music, but it's all him, and it's just like he's sitting on all this music. I'll try to attach a link so people can follow him, get the word out.
Right?
But why do
That'd
you
be
guys
cool.
call him? He said I think I want to say when he came to my house, he's on the show Gong. He said you gave him that name or your family did. Can you talk about that just for a sec?
Yeah. So my family had a plush fucking house compound on 2 acres, and we had a charge account at this place called Murata Market, and then I see my brother, the rock star. I seen he was charging beer and groceries and shit. I was like, okay, motherfucker. And then Gong came up. So we were, I don't know what we were doing up there. We were visiting, maybe doing some work. I don't know, even know what the hell we were doing there. But I went to Miranda Market and I got tired of signing for beers and shit. So I said, this is my half brother Gong. I want him to sign for me. And somehow that name is stuck with him to this day.
Oh, that's so good. Yeah, I love that dude, man. It's so good. Hey,
Yeah,
so yeah, keep going.
go ahead.
No, I was just gonna well, I'm kind of changing subjects, but buckle up for Chi. I have to show off my stuff, right? I don't have props because you're not here. But I look at this, man. Poetry night. Buckle up for Chi. I guess they've released this album on
Yeah,
vinyl. Yeah.
they did.
You
Yeah.
were there that night, weren't you? Didn't you help when he did the poetry like readings and stuff? The parachute
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
I brought my 4 track as a backup, but he brought an ADAT, and my drummer from California, Fat Dave, or Dingo Dave, he has so many names like Lucifer. He recorded it on the ADAT, and the intention was always to release the recordings. I don't know what other recordings he's sitting on. I mean, it's either I'm going to put them out on YouTube, and there's a video from Las Vegas, but I haven't heard the shit in so many years. Like I don't, if there's repeated poetry, I don't want to release it. But I think there was one show in Stockton, that a place called the Caffeine Den, that I would like to release. Like the dude was so prolific, and you know, maybe I'm just biased, but you know, I I'm pretty picky about movies, music, and writing. Charles Bukowski is me and my brother's favorite writer of all time. If you've never read the book Women, check it out. That shit will have you rolling.
Oh, really? Okay.
Charles Bukowski, check him out. He's so funny. I mean, you pretty much can't lose with his shit, but Women is a good place to start. So
Def-
anyway, if generally if I'm talking to a bitch, I'll I'll say, all right, my game is 20 questions, and I'm a curious George by nature, but it starts with, what's your favorite color? Whatever. What's your favorite color?
Blue. Yeah. I said like you should know. It's blue.
Mine is forest green, probably, or a dark green.
Nice. Yeah.
If you're on a deserted island, uh, you can only eat one food for the rest of your life. It's cooked by a cook and the same guy as your waiter. So you can pick steak and potatoes. I pick sushi. That's my pick.
Okay,
What's your
good.
What's your pick?
Burritos all the way, like Mexican
Beef or pork?
beef. Yeah.
Oh, okay. You're on the same. You're on the same deserted island, and there's going to be a band that plays 3 sets a night, every night, for the rest of your life. Nobody's there. Who do you pick?
Are they alive or dead? The band. I mean, are they
You
deceased?
you you can pick anybody.
Wow. I mean, that's a hard one. We mentioned Tom Petty. I almost want to say Tom Petty.
You know, now that you said it, alive or dead, my initial pick was the Rolling Stones. But since I could pick the dead, I picked Jimi Hendrix.
Oh yeah, dude.
I don't know. When I first heard Hendrix, I was like, it was probably some live recording. I was like, fuck this guy. He can't even keep his guitar in tune because he was all over the place. But I mean, once you listen to him as a player, you're like, how the fuck's he doing that shit? He's so otherworldly. And so invariably, I get to the last question, which is, what's your earliest memory in life?
What's my earliest
And you
memory
might
of?
have to think about that.
Can you repeat that one
What's
more
your
time?
what's your earliest memory in life?
In life. Oh, in life. Wow.
We we can
Okay.
come back to it.
No, I got two that jumped right out me. I'm just gonna say two of them right real fast. First of all, it's music, so it's the Monkees and Cheer Up Sweet Vajee, that video. That's one of my earliest memories of seeing that. Remember the Monkees? And then I think it was my dad chasing me around in the backyard, and I was just a little kid. But for some reason, that music, the Monkees, is I think the Monkees is my first memory of life. It's just
Why was he chasing you around?
yeah, probably I probably was in trouble. I don't know.
Oh,
One time I got in trouble because my dad liked beer, and I remember he asked for a beer, and he was mowing the yard, and I thought, well, it's hot outside, so I got a glass and filled it up with ice and poured a beer in there. I gave it to him, and he goes, "You don't put ice
right.
in beer." I remember him getting
Uh,
mad at me for that. It's so
I,
funny.
I can't say I've ever done it
But
personally,
I
but
was a
I
little
don't
kid, man. I was like, "Hey, you want a cold drink, right?"
right. But personally, I'm not much of a beer guy.
Yep.
I'm more of a wine and vodka guy, and even though I'm not supposed to show off my brand of coffee, these are pretty good.
What is that?
Monaco's, you have the Monaco.
No, I've got to try that. That sounds good.
They say there's two shots of vodka in this, which I know is a fucking lie. It says it's 9 alcohol, but no, they're pretty good. But I mean, my preference is probably wine, but also vodka. But when I start mixing drinks, I get myself in trouble.
All right. So what is your first memory of life?
I actually don't tell,
What say that again?
and I'll tell you the reason why. So my brother's first wife, Adrian, said that she told me two things, but she told me first that in your dreams, these are just probably psychological ideas. In your dreams, everyone is you, which I've come to find out seems very true. And then also, especially for me, your earliest memory in life may shape your life. So I don't like
Wow.
telling my story. I don't like telling my story because it's kind of like pulling the covers on myself. Maybe for interview three.
That'll get yeah, that will have interview 3 for sure. But hey, that is amazing though. And that makes me think like the first thing I thought of was the music. That's really cool.
Right,
So
right.
I've had multiple people on the show that are all kind of connected to the Deftones. Obviously you and Juan
Sergio,
and Sergio. Are you friends with Sergio? I mean, that's a big
I
thing to fill his shoes, man. Fill Cheese shoes. I guess what you
yeah,
say, fill his shoes.
I'm not. I I think those were some big shoes to fill, and even with the guy they have, Fred Sablon, you know, apparently Chino told me, and let me just say this for the record as a preface, precursor, whatever you want to call it. I love the Deftones, all of
Of
them.
course.
And if I talk shit and say he sucked in the beginning, well, he sucked compared to how fucking great he is now. Talking about Chino. But yeah, I mean, I just watched our interview, and then I popped in Sergio's. It was something he read off a piece of paper, and those were hard shoes to fill, and he did a decent job at it. I mean, Chino has told me that, and I think he's talking about the guy Fred Sablon that they have now, if that's how you say his name, does a better job of playing the songs the way my brother used to play them.
Wow.
Sergio definitely didn't do that. He was more on top of the beat, playing with the ball, especially in songs like "Summer," where it was called for. But I got to give the guy credit. He did 10 years with the band. He put out 4 albums with the band. And, you know, what were you
Yeah.
going to say?
No, man, he put out 10 albums, and with Quicksand, Deftones playing with Quicksand. Were you on tour with them when they were doing Quicksand? Like when Quicksand was opening up for Deftones? I mean, that's how they met Sergio,
Oh,
right?
yeah. Oh, yeah. And fucking, I we had the same front of house engineer, sound guy, whatever you want to call him. And I kept walking to the front of house, and I'm like, why in the fuck does it sound like the opener is killing the headliner? And the reason why is because they kept a low stage volume. The Deftones are notoriously loud as fuck. I don't know if they are now. You know, I think Steph may be the only one using regular monitor wedges, but yeah. And once you get over 100 decibels coming off stage, makes any stage good out, you know.
Yeah. But
But
yeah.
since you asked,
Yeah.
go ahead.
No, keep going. Since I
What
asked,
are
what
you
were you gonna
drinking,
say?
sucker?
I'm drinking your favorite thing. It's
No, what are you drinking?
uh
The same kind of coffee I'm drinking?
well, it's not Bud Light. I'm just playing. Okay.
What kind of like Miller?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I drink that fancy stuff. Yeah.
why don't you why don't you upgrade, sucker, to drowning pool beer or Blackwater drowning beer?
Oh yeah.
Isn't that what we had that one night?
Yeah, we did. I forgot about that. Yeah.
That's pretty good. It was kind of I couldn't
It was
see it.
you
I
can't
don't know if it was sweet or salty or something.
just
It
say
tasted different.
it was earthy, or just say some fancy stuff, and we'll just all be yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah, but
I forgot about that. That was good.
after that interview, I checked them out and like pretty fucking cool band.
I'm so glad you said that. They're such good people. Yeah, Blackwater Drowning. I was talking to the Mac, the guy that does their photos and stuff and kind of
It's
helps
his
them out.
birthday. Happy birthday, Mac.
Oh, yeah, that's amazing. I'm gonna send him this. That's really cool. Yeah, man. Yeah. So anyway, we're talking about Sergio, but did Sergio ever reach out to you and like when he first started? I mean, were you close to him like that, or was he like
Not at all.
not at all? Yep.
Not at all. I have nothing against the guy. I think he's a great guy. And I mean, I'm just gonna say it. I think you got a fuck deal. I
Uh,
think if you I think if you do 10 years with a band and you do 4 albums with a band, you should become a member. And this was during the COVID era when everything was up for grabs. But, in retrospect, maybe the new guy's better. I don't fucking know. But like, I feel like he put in the time and they should have made him a member. I think what prevented that from happening was, let's see, I don't know if it was Around the Fur or White Pony, but they made Frank a member, and they were like, "Oh shit, now we got to give this guy 20% of everything." And like, I'm not trying to fucking throw dirt. I love the Deftones. I call them the Deftones. Well, there you go. But after my brother died, then it was just a 4-way cut to cut another guy in. On where's the money at? Merchandise, beer, tarot cards, all that shit. They wanted to keep him on as a hired gun, but he had paid his fucking dues.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and I'm not trying to be a dick by saying that. I'm not trying to alienate myself from the Deftones, but I just feel like he paid his fucking dues, and I don't know how much he contributed as a writer, but I think he probably contributed something. But yeah, let's switch the subject.
Yeah, no, totally, man. I will say like I think he was. We'll say let's move on, but he was the perfect, I think, fit. In that time of when the Deftones are trying to decide if they're going to keep going on, and I think he was the perfect person for, the follow up. Yeah.
Except the death vocals sucked. It was something he had to work his way into, and still didn't quite cut it because, I mean, nobody does the death vocals like my brother or Max Cavalera.
Yeah.
And like,
Nobody ever will.
I saw my boy doing it. I videotaped him the other day. What you don't realize about a lot of these Cookie Monster vocals and death vocalists is they're not singing super loud. They're going, eat your kids.
Right.
They're very quiet. And having worked with the Perfect Circle before their album came out, I suspect Maynard might be the same way. And this was early on when they had the Primus drummer. But
Wow, that's really cool, man.
yeah, but I mean, he grew into his own, and I'm just saying, it's like, loyalty's one thing, and I get it for financial reasons, but at the same time, 10 years, 4 albums, eh, and like, I'm assuming Fred will play on the new album, but if they got to divvy up the pie 4 ways or 5 ways, they're going to keep it four for the rest of their lives.
You think so?
And I
Yeah.
get, I get it. I mean, not only is this a band decision, it's probably a management decision. Telling them, management made a lot of decisions when my brother's accident happened that I did not agree with. And I won't go into details, but it fucking pissed me off. And I'm not trying to spill dirt. I do think it makes for a better interview.
Well, I appreciate you being honest about that. That's sad. And what was the yeah.
Go ahead.
I was thinking, and I won't. We can wrap this up soon, but when you were on tour with the Deftones in that time, was there a particular opening band that stuck out to you that you're like, this is my favorite band that the Deftones have been on the road with?
It would either be Quicksand or Tin Fed. I might even say Will Haven just because I love those guys so much. And but mostly Tin Fed, and especially Quicksand. They just sonically they blew us off the stage every night. And I asked the front of house guy, I'm like, why is this happening? He's like, they have a low stage volume. And I walked on stage and it was quiet as fuck. But I mean, I'm not saying the Deftones didn't blow them away as far as the show goes. I'm just saying sonically. And
yes.
I want to hear the new Quicksand albums. I haven't actually gone forth to do it, but I hear they're good. And Walter, like, my boy went and seen him with one of his rival school or something like that.
What, Rival Sons?
No, rival school. Don't
okay.
confuse it with Rival Sons.
My bad.
A fucking Zeppelin ripoff band.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, totally. They sound like them.
But I mean, for Sergio's sake, financially, it's like Quicksand had their day, and they came before the Deftones. They came before Korn, and
good point.
But they're only going to make so much money. I mean, I would guess that Sergio's making more money as a hired gun, with the Deftones. But I guess that's neither here nor there now.
Yeah. That's man, I appreciate you doing this this Zoom. This is really fun. And you mentioned a part 3, so I'm assuming we're gonna have a part 3 sometime,
It's either that or with my mom.
Dude, I gotta have your mom on here. That'd be awesome.
I'd like to make it happen. I'll see what I can do.
And you mentioned earlier, did you say something about doing your own podcast or something? Is that something you can talk about? Would you ever be interested in doing your own podcast?
I am interested. I got a boy who I'm looking to maybe co-host with me. I mean, we worked together for so many years as stagehand and sound lackeys, and Dude, you want to talk about spilling the dirt? Neither one of us gives a shit whether it's whorehouse, cocaine, fucking just dumb shit.
Right. What would you
I,
guys
I mean,
talk about? Was this like a music podcast or just a life? And I mean, anything kind of a Joe Rogan kind of thing?
I think it'd be an everything kind of thing. But I mean, just like you, I think we're gonna have to, do a little bit like we're doing now, and then maybe hit the streets with our phones and, kind of like the soft white underbelly. If you've ever seen it, have you?
Yes. Yeah, I have. That's really cool. I like that.
5,000 interviews, and I mean, granted, he's on Skid Row, but I know he flies people in, and
Oh,
he's a
I
good
love
dude.
it. I love what he does. He interviews like, I mean, like anywhere from like prostitutes to druggies. Like that's such a he's killing
Pimps,
it.
fucking
Pimps.
hitmen, fucking everything, dude.
Yeah,
But
he is so genuine. He is such a good I think he was on Joe Rogan actually talking about this
I think,
show, man.
dude, why doesn't Joe? Hold on, before we hang up, why doesn't Joe run for president? I know he's too lefty, but like, here's my opinion on Biden. Too fucking old, losing his mind. Trump is Trump. DeSantos, piece of shit. And like, who the fuck? I mean, I don't know what if Gavin Newsom's worth a fuck, but I want somebody to come out. It's never going to be an independent, but
Yeah.
like, who besides those three? Do you follow politics at all?
No, I don't, but this is good. I do think Joe Rogan would be great at that.
Oh my god,
Some people have mentioned The Rock, but I think that would be too silly, maybe.
oh no, some shit came out about The Rock recently, but I did read an interview with him in Rolling Stone, and I could tell he was getting ready to run for politics. I mean, the obvious choice is a celebrity. I mean, it's been happening since Ronald Reagan.
Oh, yes.
Obama
Yeah.
was
Yep.
Obama was a bit of a star, albeit in other countries, and then Trump, which honestly, I want to shoot myself in the mouth for saying it. But if I got to pick between DeSantis and Biden, I fucking pick Trump. This
Oh, yeah.
fucking. But I'm
Yeah.
just saying, I hope somebody comes out of the woodwork. I want Biden to step the fuck down. And yeah, I don't know
But
about this Kennedy guy or Gavin Newsom, but I want more options than these fucking three lemon heads.
yeah, Biden, I think I don't follow politics at all, but didn't Biden say he came out and cured cancer or that he has a cure for cancer?
Dude, my, my dad was a cardiologist, and fucking the cure for cancer has been around everywhere for all time, but there's no money in the cure, bro. That's why the
Mm,
FDA will never allow it. So no,
man.
it's just the offhand shit he says, and just he's a weird motherfucker. He's losing his,
Yeah, he is.
you
But
know.
hey, Ming, dude, we'll wrap this up. But thank you so much for doing this. This means the world to me. You agreeing to be on the show means a lot to me.
Dude, after the red carpet treatment you laid out for me, I owe you sucker all day long, all day long, anytime.
Thank you so much, man. Thank you. And
Bro.
I'd love to have your mom on the show too. Like you said, that mean the world. She's a kind lady. Very cool. You guys are good people.
She's great. She might be a little long-winded. You might have to keep her on track, but
It's all good.
I think it'd be worth doing.
But yeah,
All
man.
right, best of luck to you.
You too, man. And when you get this podcast, I would love to be on it. I mean, no, I don't have to be on it,
Oh,
but
for sure.
I look forward to seeing it.
No, I want you to. I've got a small list of people that I know, and I would want you to be on them.
Wow, that means the world. That means the world.
So for sure. Hey, I'll send you my address. I'm a 2XL sucker.
I got it.
My
I
tits
got
have
it.
gotten bigger.
I will. I'll get you
Oh, you
to
see my
Excel.
tits?
No, I don't want to see your
Oh,
tits,
you
but
will? You want to see them?
hey, look at that, man. You got nice areolas. I'm not going to send you the skate deck, but I got to tell you, this Hooch Skate Shop made this, so I have to give them a little props.
Normally, I wouldn't take it. Like, I'm a longboard rider, if that. And the last skateboard I had was a Deftones White Pony skateboard,
Oh,
and
that's so cool.
I put some trucks and wheels on it, gave it to my daughter, and apparently my niece fucked it up somewhere along the way, but that's neither here nor there.
No, that's really rare
Oh
and really cool.
wait. One more question
Oh
before we
yeah,
go.
absolutely.
Okay, top five new metal bands of all time.
Wow, you just throw that at me, man. 5 new metal bands of all time. Okay, Deftones, Corn,
But the
boom.
obvious
The
those
obvious
two are on
ones.
my.
Did they have to be like where they just made a random new metal album and then went back to hardcore? So
No,
I think
you can pick whoever you want, bro.
okay, right off the bat, I'm gonna say this list and then we're gonna get done and we're like, oh, I should have said this. But I would say Burning Red by Machine Head because I love that album. And it was
That
total
is
new
a good
metal.
album, and I got to work with them a couple times, but
Oh, you
it's
did?
not
That's
on my
tight.
list.
I'm looking around my house
Dude,
trying to figure. Rage Against the Machine, I guess. Are they new metal? They're not new metal. Golly, man, I'm gonna get in trouble for saying that.
well, no, I got a band on my list who's not considered new metal, but I'm throwing them in there anyway. So that's four.
Okay. Oh man, I'm gonna get in trouble for
We got
saying Rage Against
Deftones,
the Machine.
Korn, Machine Head, Rage Against the Machine, who were a huge influence on Deftones. Not so much
Were they?
musically, not yeah, but not so much musically, but just from an energetic vibe. They were like, "Holy shit, we got to bring what these guys bring."
Yes. God dang it, I can't think of number 5. Oh, this is pissing me off. Number 5. Who is number 5 new metal? I would have to say, I would have to say that the the first Limp Bizkit album. I like that $3 bill
My
because it was
God, I'm hanging
kind of
up
punk,
right now. I hate Limp Bizkit. They're Fred Durst is the ultimate pile of shit. Fred, if you're
Hey, I said the
you're a
first Limp
pile of
Bizkit.
shit.
The pollution and the it's kind of heavy. Just that first one,
Oh
man.
wait, I hold on. I got as we're cutting it short. I got a story for you. So Limp Bizkit's joining our tour, and they're like, "Oh no, Limp Bizkit's joining our tour tomorrow." Like, what the fuck is a Limp Bizkit? And then so we get into it, and like our obvious hits are "Faith" cover song, "Jump
Yeah.
Around" cover song. The rest of their songs just okay, but then fucking Wes Borland, who shared stage left with my brother, he's opening up. He starts punching these Par 64 cans, knocking the frames and the shells out of them. Then he starts throwing shit at the monitor guy. Finally, my brother's like, cut the sound. And fucking Wes comes off stage and he's like, motherfucker, if you ever disrespect your crew like that or anyone else, I'm going to kick the shit out of you.
Oh my
And
God.
dude kind of went missing for 3 days. But in all
He
honesty, my
did?
brother, yeah, but in all honesty, my brother never fought anybody. I just know he was a badass.
Okay. That is a great story. Erase Limp Bizkit, and I'm gonna add Prime 55 because I'm friends with Joshua Toomey and Bobby. That was both in Prime 55. So
Wait. Toomey was in that band from Snot?
no, not
Okay.
that. No. I love
That's
Snot.
Tumor. That's Tumor,
Toomer.
right?
I love Toomer. He's so John. Yeah, he's amazing. I wouldn't. I don't know if I'd throw Snot in the new metal. I mean, I would, I guess, but yeah,
Well, I'm gonna name off my top five.
yeah. You do
Same as
yours, man. I'm boring. Yeah.
no, you're good. Who's in Primer 55? What's
So
the
that was
bass player's
Bobby
name?
Burns and
Right. I
and
see a lot of love, and I'm one of his friends on Facebook.
the
But I think
singer the singer
I think
died. Yeah,
I think he also played with Soulfly.
he
I could be wrong.
did. Yes, he did. He played with
And
Soulfly.
so did Mikey Doling.
Mikey
I remember
Dolan. Mike. Yep.
I remember working him in Sacramento. So
Shout out to
my
Mikey Dolan. Love that dude.
fucking the thing is, I love Snot. They were only on tour with us for like a week, but fucking I don't think they replicated their live sound to CD because they were such a good live band. Like I don't think it transferred over to CD or tape or whatever it was at the time.
Yeah,
But
well,
anyway,
and they only made one album though. So you mean if you think like if they made a second record, would it have translated over better the live sound?
no, dude, I got to give it up. They're making a documentary about Lynn Strait. out of all the guys I toured with, Lynn was the best. He treated everybody like they were a rock star. He was so fucking cool. Same with the rest of the band, but especially Lynn. I love that guy. All right, so my top five.
Wait, oh, can I
Same.
interrupt you for a sec? What was Lynn like? I mean,
Oh,
that's amazing that you were friends with Lynn Straight. That's phenomenal.
well, no, they came out on the first week of around the Fur tour. I had no idea who they were. I just remember being impressed by the live show. And then whenever I was around the dude, he treated everyone like they were rock stars. He was just so fucking cool. And like I don't know, it's hard to describe. He just had that it factor, you know. I don't think any of the songs on Get Some, if that's what the album is called, are particularly catchy, but I think they just had so much potential. And I just love that guy to death. You know, he was the kind of guy that come up and just give you a big old hug. You know, just like my brother. Like fucking Korn came to town, and I wanted to thank Fieldy for doing a song for my brother. And
Yes.
they're coming off stage. He put me on the list, and I go to give him a hug, and he takes 3 steps back, and I'm like, fuck this guy. You know what I mean? It's like
Oh,
he
really?
knows who I am. I'm just trying to say thank you. For my money, I liked all the guys, and really two of the best books you can read are fucking Head's book and Fieldy's book. Fieldy's book
Absolutely.
especially because he spills the dirt on himself. But anyway, going back to my favorite five new metal
Yes.
bands. So I'm just like you, Deftones, Korn, in that order. And now the one that you said Prime 55 or something, you said, I don't know if they're really on the list. I go Marilyn Manson. He's not on the new
Oh,
metal
okay.
list, but like he's more of a shock rocker or whatever. But it's new metal, bro.
Which album
And
though?
then I
Do you
go,
have a certain Marilyn Manson album, or are you just saying in general, like Antichrist Superstar or A Portrait of American Family? That album's amazing. Is that, or are you just saying
no,
in
that's
general?
what I'm saying. A lot of their albums are pretty fucking good. If you don't like the whole album, there's at
Yeah,
least some good songs on them. Even I don't know if it's Mechanical Animals, but the one with Dope Show,
yeah,
that's
that's
a
Mechanical
six.
Albums. Yeah,
Yeah, and just like starting with Beautiful People, Sweet Sweet Dreams, which really made them. Without that cover song, same with Limp Bizkit. Without that cover song, I don't know if they would have gotten that far. But even
totally
when I
agree.
listen to their recent shit, I mean, I don't know if they bring it live so much. But anyway, Tones, Korn, Manson. I'm going with Dredge, who you
Oh, I
should try.
remember them. Yeah,
You should try and get them on your show. They're like they're
sure.
they're the they're the same as the Tones. Like they can't seem to write pop songs for the radio, but they were so fucking good. My brother loved that band.
Oh man, I remember them. I have to go back and check them out. It's been years since I've listened to them.
I don't know what my favorite record is. I don't know if it's what is it called. It doesn't matter. I mean, you can't miss with their catalog, and I think they've called it today. I'm not gonna say Faith No More because they were the originators, so I'd have to go with mm, by default probably System.
Oh, I love them. Great choice, man.
I'm not a huge fan, but they were doing something different, you know. And around that time that Snot and Gong were around the LA scene, between System and Snot, Gong was like, these guys are the shit, you know. But
that's amazing that you shared that. Did you remember when they did the tribute album for Lynn, the Straight Up record?
yeah, yeah, straight up.
That's so underrated. I always heard that the Deftones were on tour or something, that they couldn't be on the album because some kind of scheduling conflict. I can't remember exactly why, but
I don't know if I believe it, but okay.
but it's an amazing album regardless. Though it's highly underrated, and I wish more people would talk about it and listen to it. I actually interviewed Corey Taylor from Slipknot and talked about that album, and he goes,
Which,
dude,
which
nobody ever talks about that album.
what album?
straight up.
Get
The
straight.
yeah, because you remember Corey
Yeah,
was on there.
I do. Uh, I know I had a copy of the album. I don't remember anything being a standout track. I
Well,
feel
they
like
had
Serge.
yeah,
I feel like Serge was on it, but I could be mistaken.
Sergio's on the first song, the opening song.
Thank
They
you.
have
Yeah.
Head PE on there, and then the last song they had a snot song that was unreleased, absent. I think that's what it's called.
Well, apparently these were all snot songs without vocals.
Yes, you're right. Yep, good point.
And fucking my buddy, the promoter I worked for 15 years, was like, his theory was that fucking, and I'm a big conspiracy nut, but his theory was Lynn was in his car with his dog, fucking saw the yellow light and said, fuck it. Like, he didn't give a shit because this record was tanking and, borderline suicide. But
Really,
I'm a
never
conspiracy
heard
nut.
that one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I just love that guy so much. He was just such a cool fucker. I mean, that's why I say Steph's my favorite guy because A, he's the same guy since I met him. When I met him, he was always like, "Hey, can you give me a ride home?" And then not offer to pay for gas. Not, hey, thank you. He was always a rock star. But Lynn was the opposite, where he was just super grateful, happy to be there, and just an overall cool motherfucker. I mean, shoulda, woulda, coulda. Who knows what they could have done?
man, we got to end it with that, man. That's phenomenal. Yeah,
For real.
Ming, thank you so much, man, for doing this. This means the world.
Anytime, brother. I
You're
appreciate
the
you.
best. Much respect to you and your family. I love you guys. You're the best.
I love you too. You're the best. Keep up the good work, and we'll
Thank you,
talk
brother.
soon.
We'll talk soon,
Yeah.
and I look forward to hearing your podcast, man.
Yeah, we'll see if it happens. Sounds good.
All right, love you guys, man. Thanks again, brother.
Love you. Bye.
Yeah.
Peace.
Peace.